Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of the XTEP J Lin 5. So this is Jeremy Lin's signature shoe. It literally says Jeremy Lin right here, which I think is a little tacky, but yeah, Jeremy Lin is signed with XTEP, and XTEP is a Chinese company, and yeah, they actually skipped the J Lin 4, which is pretty interesting. So if you guys didn't know, in Asia, the number 4 is actually very bad luck. So if you guys also didn't know, some buildings in Asia don't have a 4th floor because it's just bad luck. So they skipped the J Lin 4, so they came from the J Lin 3 straight to the J Lin 5. And this shoe only retails for 115 bucks over at Femuji. And that's an amazing price, especially for the tech, right? So we'll just go over a quick overview of the tech, right? Full length carbon fiber, guys. Full length carbon fiber. We have XTEP Ace, which literally reminds me of Boost or Boom or N2 foam from Anta, right? So that's full length. Also, the material is a really nice like textile material, which for 115 bucks, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. And it does help me out if you do choose to get this shoe, if you buy it from the affiliate link in the description box. And as always, thank you guys so much for all the support. This is a versatile colorway, so it is mismatched, which is pretty cool. Right? You guys can see, right? But yeah, let's get it started off with the traction. So for the traction, we have a very interesting herringbone traction pattern and kind of like waffles a little bit as well here in the midfoot. And we have a lot of circles. You know, we got 3 circles here in the forefoot and 1 here in the heel, like in the middle of the heel. But yeah, how is the traction? So if you're playing on a clean court, you have a really nice and solid bite. I definitely wouldn't say it's top tier. I definitely wouldn't say it's the hardest stop that I've experienced, but it has a pretty nice overall solid bite. So if you're playing on clean court, you should be good to go. Also has a pretty nice loud high-pitched squeak, not super loud, but it does have a nice squeak, which has nothing to do with performance, of course, but I feel like most hoopers like to have a squeak, and the shoe does have that. But the downfall of this overall shoe is dust performance, and oh my goodness, it's not good. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because the grooves are super close together. I don't know, but it was picking up a good amount of dust, right? And it wasn't dangerous or anything to the point where like if there was dust present, I would slip out and I would hurt myself, but it just picks up a lot of dust. It picks it up very quickly, and it's affected by dust a good amount. Like, you know, even if there's a little bit of dust, I would be sliding around a little bit. You know what I mean? So I guess it's good that I wasn't sliding around dangerously, but then even if there's just a tiny bit of dust, I'll be sliding around, right? So for example, I was playing in like Jordan 39, which was picking up a little bit of dust, but definitely nothing terrible. I was playing in the GT Hustle 3, which also does pick up a little bit of dust, but out of all the shoes I was playing, also the WoW 11, 808 Ultra, you know, AE1 low, this was picking up the most dust, and I was sliding around the most, and I had to wipe the most in the J Lin 5, which sucks, you know what I mean? Because everything else about this shoe, spoiler alert, is freaking nice. So I really wanted to like this shoe, but with the really lackluster performance on dust, I couldn't really like it as much as I wanted to, you know what I mean? If you're playing on an outdoor court, I mean, I feel like it should be okay, but not the best, because if you feel the rubber, it's actually kind of soft, right? And these rubber grooves are really thin too. So the only thing is that it has a lot of surface area, so that's good, but I don't think it'll be the best for outdoor use. So there is the overall traction there. It's really good if you're playing on a clean court, right? Now moving on to the heel to toe transition, really smooth and very nice, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice curved shape, and of course on the lateral side, the cushion is really caged, right? But this cage is actually not even that stiff. It reminds me of the WoW 10 cage, where it's like, you can still feel the cushion, you know, there's still compression when you press it with your finger. So it feels nice and smooth here in the heel. It has also a little bit of bounce, so it kind of propels you forward a little bit. And then here in the forefoot, we got a nice rocker shape. So that feels really nice. And then like I said, we have a full length carbon fiber plate. So here in the midfoot, you can see the carbon fiber, but also through these holes, you can see that the carbon fiber goes all the way here into the forefoot. So with that, we actually have a good amount of flexibility, but also there's nice tension there, and then nice rebound back. So it's nice and soft here in the heel. We have a nice little bounce here too, and then coming into the forefoot, we have this rocker shape, feels smooth, and then we have that really nice springiness. So out of your first step, and also running down the court, doing heel dominant strides is really nice and smooth and springy. And now moving on to the cushioning setup, which is also one of my favorite aspects about this shoe. So like I said, they are using XTEP Ace foam, and XTEP Ace foam is actually pretty dang nice. It's really, really soft, right? Just pressing it with my finger, it's really, really soft. Like I mentioned before, there's actually a good amount of compression from the heel on the lateral side. So that feels pretty nice as well. We'll get into lateral stability, which wasn't the best in the shoe, but I do like how there is nice compression there. But also another thing that I really love about the shoe is the step and comfort. And I feel like all Chinese companies are doing this. Literally every single one of them. For pretty much all their hoop shoes, they're doing this. And the only companies that aren't doing this are the American ones, which I don't understand. Like, so for example, like Under Armour, with Flow, they can definitely improve the cushion just by giving us better step and comfort. You know what I mean? With the Flow, like all the Curries. Same thing with, I guess Adidas, they are doing a lot better. They're giving us a softer stroke board with the boost and usually give us a cutout in the heel, right? But Nike also doesn't do this. I guess we do have, you know, Zoom Strobel, but that's about it. You know what I mean? There's nothing in between a Zoom Strobel unit and a really stiff Strobel, you know? But anyways, the insole in the J Lin 5 is just a regular insole, nothing amazing. I believe this is XTEP Ace foam. I'm not sure. Either way, it doesn't matter. No matter how nice the foam would be, it's a really thin insole, so it doesn't really matter what foam they're using. It's just, it kind of just improves the step and comfort just a tiny bit, but like most insoles, it does bottom out, right? But of course, underneath that, we have a nice soft mesh Strobel board. It's full length, and in the heel and forefoot, you have a lot of compression. You can feel the XTEP Ace foam right underneath your foot. There's a lot of compression. It's soft, it's comfortable. Also has a nice little bounce to it. I wouldn't say it's as bouncy as Boom foam from like Way of Wade or Li Ning. And also N2 foam, but it's a little bit more closer to N2 foam because N2 foam is still a little bit softer rather than bouncy. So yeah, XTEP Ace, it's really, really nice. It has good core feel. Overall impact protection is great. Step and comfort under the cushion is really nice. So it's a really nice overall cushioning setup, especially if you're a guard. So I definitely feel like they did it very, very well for the cushioning setup here in the J Lin 5, right? So there's that. Moving on to the upper. So for the upper as well, like I mentioned before, they are using this really nice textile material, which feels amazing for quality. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel flimsy. You know, it feels great for quality. It feels great in hand, also great on foot. So we have a weird like wavy pattern on it, but it's thin. You know, it's really thin, it's really soft right when you get it out of the box, like right when you first get it. However, once you break it in, it gets even softer, which I like, but also it's still supportive. It doesn't stretch at all. So I really like that, right? Also here in the midfoot, it stays extremely thin. And also we have this strap thing, right? It doesn't really do too much, you know what I mean? It's just a strap, you know, the laces go through it, and once you tighten it, kind of tightens a little bit over kind of like your forefoot / midfoot. So there's that. And also we have no padding for the tongue, which I kind of don't like. I wish they would add a little bit more padding. We have J Lin's logo right here in the front of the tongue as well. It's a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And then here in the ankle area, like on the sides, there's literally zero padding, but we have a good amount of padding here in the back of the shoe, right? Especially with this kind of like red pad, right? Red here in this, on the right pair. Now on the left pair, we have this, it's red lining with a brown pad, which is for the mismatch colorway. But yeah, I really, really like the upper. Also here in the heel, we have this material as well. We have his logo, and it's just kind of like, what is this material though? It's like a softer type of plastic. But yeah, that's there as well. So the overall material is great. And now moving on to the fit, I went up half a size and this shoe fits me perfectly. And I definitely feel like it's because there's just so much foam here in the heel. So if you look at the foam, there's a lot of foam right here, right? And it like kind of cups in, so your foot is like right here. Your heel is literally like right here. It starts right there, right? And you have all this kind of coming out. So I definitely feel like because of this foam, it's pushing your foot forward a little bit, and it makes the shoe run a little short, right? So I did go up half a size, and lengthwise I'm good to go. My toes go pretty dang close to the edge of the shoe, which I do like. So I would suggest not going true to size. I would suggest going up half a size like I did. And also here in the toe box, it's a nice snug fit, which I do like. And then width-wise, I would say it's normal to slightly narrow. I can definitely feel the side of my foot being squished a tiny bit with this plastic, but it's just a nice snug fit. It's not uncomfortable or anything. So overall, it's a really nice fit for me going up half a size. And then moving on to support and lockdown, also really, really nice, right? So for lateral containment, you can see this TPU piece, right? So it's there for lateral stability, you know, so it cages the cushion, also for lateral support. So here in the forefoot, it comes up backing the sidewall, and then here in the forefoot slash midfoot comes up backing the sidewall. But also with this kind of like dipped circular shape, it helps with the forefoot flex too, which is nice, you know. And then here in the heel, we have, it feels like obviously this piece, but also it seems like there's an internal TPU heel counter maybe, or maybe it's just this, I don't know. Either way, it feels really supportive here in the heel too. So lateral containment is very, very nice, right? Your foot is not coming out of the footbed, and also the overall upper is supportive, like I said. Lateral stability is really good too. Look at how freaking wide this shoe is, you know? You're low to the ground and very, very wide, especially with this kind of crazy outrigger. So lateral stability is good here in the forefoot, right? But then here in the heel, I felt a little unstable, right? So first of all, like I said, there is a good amount of compression from the actual foam, and this XTEP Ace foam is really, really soft, right? So on the medial side, you don't really need to cage it, I understand. Lateral side, you definitely do, you know? And I do like how they did cage it, but like I said, it still has a good amount of compression because the plastic is still kind of soft, right? And not only that, I definitely feel like that's all fine, that's okay. But if you look at the overall shape, I don't know if it's coming out on camera, but it's like kind of curved at the edge right here. Kind of like an outsole curvature, you know what I mean? But you added that here in the heel, which is weird. You want it to be more flat here in the heel. You know what I mean? So because of the compression, and because the foam is really soft, and because of this kind of like curved or circular shape, look, it kind of just rocks. Right? So when I was doing heel dominant strides on the court, or kind of like heel striking or something like that, it felt a little unstable. And I mean, I didn't roll my ankle or anything, but it just felt like not safe, not super safe. You know, it wasn't to the point where like I really need to worry a lot. But it just didn't feel super safe here in the heel, of course. But of course, when I landed here in the forefoot, I didn't really notice it as much because it's very wide in the forefoot. So just be careful with that. And as far as overall lockdown goes, I didn't really experience any type of heel slippage. Once I laced the shoes, I felt locked into the shoe and secured. So there's that. Moving on to the weight of the shoe. I feel like, you know, if I remember correctly, it's like a little bit heavier than average, right? Oh, it's a little bit lighter than average. It comes in at 12.1 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. Comes in at 11.95 ounces. So average around like 12 ounces, right? So that's a little bit lighter than average. And yeah, this shoe feels really great. You know, it feels very minimal for the upper, right? There's not a whole lot of padding. The cushion feels responsive, but also comfortable. And the traction was really good on a clean court. Like when I was playing on a clean court, I really absolutely loved this shoe. But when I was playing on a dusty court, it was just sliding around, which I didn't like, right? So yeah, that kind of sucks, but you know, I really enjoyed this shoe when I was playing on a clean court. So there's that. Moving on to the aesthetics, I like it. This shoe looks really nice. I especially like this colorway with the mismatched colors, right? And the overall design looks pretty good, you know? So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. Now moving on to the ventilation. Ventilation's okay. There's a little bit of airflow through this textile material, but not a whole lot. But this material is thin, so it doesn't keep in heat that much. So overall ventilation is pretty good, right? And now wrapping things up, yeah, the J Lin 5. So the only, or I guess there's two things, right? The main thing that I really didn't like is the dust performance, which sucks, right? It wasn't terrible, but then I just, you know, when I'm playing, I want a good bite. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit quicker, I'm a little bit shiftier, so I need really good traction. Right, especially since I was playing with like, you know, the WoW 11, you know, which has amazing traction, or the 808 Ultra. I was switching around like my rotation, and when I switched to the J Lin 5 and it didn't have as good traction on a dusty court, then I was like, that kind of sucks, right? But when I was playing on a clean court, I felt extremely quick, right? So yeah, if you're playing on a clean court most of the time, this shoe is gonna be amazing, right? But if you're playing on a dusty court, stay away from the shoe. Also, another minor little thing, of course, was the lateral instability here in the heel, which wasn't even like anything terrible. I wouldn't even say it's like a thing where it'd be like, don't get this shoe because of that. But just something that I noticed. It's kind of annoying. But other than that, everything else about the shoe is freaking amazing. Full length carbon fiber plate, the cushion, underfoot cushion with the soft mesh showboard, the upper quality feels great. The price is great for 115 bucks. So if you want to bite the bullet, and even if you are playing on a dirty court and you don't mind wiping, you should be fine. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like this shoe is gonna be really good for most people. You know what I mean? Like if you're a guard, you're playing on a clean court, really nice. If you're a bigger dude, cushion's super nice. It's overall a supportive shoe too, so you should be fine with this too. So yeah, just be careful with the dust performance. And if you do keep up with your wipes, then you should be good to go. And for the price, I feel like this is one of the best shoes that you can get right now, especially for all the tech that you're getting, right? So anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the XTEP J Lin 5. Again, if you guys want to copy, try to leave in the link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.